week 3. This week you will be starting your interviewing with career services. I know some of us may not have our resumes back. Don't worry about that. Like, just continue to work with them. They have to get through quite a few. And just make sure that assignment is not open. Just shoot me a text or an email letting me know that you got your resume back, and I'll open it for you. But I probably would have already opened it for somebody else. So just check it first before you reach out. All right. Um, please put yourselves on mute just so we don't get the feedback. All right. So let me do one thing here. All right. So we're at what is considered the midpoint. That means that you've taken your midterm. And so now you should be, have a clear sense of where you stand in the class. There are some assignments I still need to grade, but the midterm has been graded. You guys can check those grades. Most of the classes I've done. I didn't notice that there was a group of people that didn't do the director's informational interview. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that to make sure you understand what that is. Last week, I told you in one of your assignments that in preparation for our conversation on networking, I wanted you to identify one person that you think you could just pick their brain and ask some questions about, you know, or is that this week? Now I'm getting confused. I asked you guys that already, right? About the directors. I think I did. Find someone to talk to. Did I give you guys that assignment yet? Let me look and see now. I did, right? Okay. Bugging out. All right. So the only thing I want is a name, right? That's all I wanted you guys to do is to have a name of someone that you could talk to about your career. And it's just to prepare us for our networking conversation. And we'll dig more into that. But the assignment itself, it gives you questions that you can ask them. But what it really is you telling them what your long-term goals are and then getting their feedback. And so I'll dig more into that on this coming Wednesday, but I just wanted to point that out. Now I want to make sure too, I'm going to look in your classroom, make sure everybody got that assigned, because I saw a couple of people missed it. So I don't know if you didn't see it or not. All right. So today is going to be pretty light. We're just going to, finalize really our conversation on interviewing. Hopefully you guys, we're able to digest chapter 10, which talked a lot about interviewing. Chapter 11 just talks about one very, very important element here called subjective elements. And what this is really about is first impressions. We've all heard that term before. First impressions are a lasting impression. Maybe we've heard people say, make sure that you make a good first impression. The reason why people talk about first impressions is because as humans, we operate on senses, right? We have our sense of smell, our sense of sight, our sense of touch, and all of our senses combined with our emotions. When we meet someone for the first time, are I won't say on high alert, but they're on alert. I mean, it's just a animalistic nature, of just stranger danger, making sure you're in a safe place. Whenever someone meets someone new, I don't care what the scenario is, you have this heightened sense of awareness. Why is that important for your first impression? When the interviewer sees you for the first time, You are a stranger to them. So they're going to be on high alert. And they're going to take in everything about you. Well, it's one of the reasons why people want to see you at an interview. We have to be mindful that every interviewer may have some type of inherent bias. And I'm not even talking about the obvious ones, right? Not just, male or female or race or something like that obvious. It could be something like sense of smell. They could have they may notice, all your jewelry. Maybe you put on too much cologne, or they may know they're going to notice your haircut. They may notice if your shoes are dirty. Like, people are going to be on high alert and they're going to take you in. That is natural. You are doing the same thing for them, right? Now, unfortunately, people judge you when they see you for the first time. Is that not a human trait? We judge people when we see them the first time. We take them in. It's almost like a computer chip. We look them up and down. I don't care if you look at it for 1 second or 10 seconds. We size people up. You want your goal in an interview is to reduce as many biases as possible by having the interviewer, because they're going to give you a once over, pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth. You want to try to eliminate these biases. So we tell people, is one of the reasons why chapter 11 talks about it, and you may have heard about it. When you go to an interview, you want to be as conservative as possible. You want to dress in blues and browns and grays. And you may say, why? I'm not applying for a bank. No, but the point is, you don't want to be distracting in any way, right? You want to be fresh, but you don't want to be overly powerful in your smell. You want to be nicely dressed, but you don't want anything flashy on. You want your hair groomed properly, but you don't want it all over the place to where they are focusing on anything but your face. In other words, you want the interviewer to focus on the words coming out of your mouth. You want them looking at your face, right? So you don't want anything else distracting them, because it will affect your interview, guys. Has anyone ever talked to someone before, or maybe it was in an interview or just a casual interaction, and something that they were doing, something that they had on, the way they smelled was distracting? Give me a thumbs up if that's ever happened to you. And it's not your fault. You're not being judgmental. You are human, right? Right? You are human. And I guarantee you, was it difficult for you to pay attention to what they were saying? Be honest. Was it difficult? Especially if it smells, especially if you since the smell, oh my God, the smell would just throw me off. It could be something that they're not even aware of. Like, let's say they have a lot of jewelry on, those bangles that people wear on their wrists sometimes. Or maybe they're just very flashy, and it's like, it's hard for you to focus. That's not your fault. Even, I'm going to say this, hopefully I don't offend anybody, even your tattoos. If you have a lot of tattoos, we try to tell people, try to cover them up if you want. Is there anything wrong with tattoos? No. But do you really want people staring at your tattoos? Anybody ever see someone and you're like staring at their tattoos, trying to figure out, oh, what's that one? And what's this one? And it's just a curious thing. Like, you just don't want the person being distracted. They're not being mean. We're not saying, don't show off your cool tattoos. We're just saying, right now, this person, you don't know what this person has going on. You just want them to focus on your face. Yes. So chapter 11 will say, minimize this person's interaction, because at the end of the day, like I said, they got Joe Schmo coming in after you, and Joe Schmo may have, he may come in there meaning business, and he's going to, focus and give his questions because he wants the job just like you do. You don't want to have any distractors, right? So that's why we tell people, remember, first impression is a lasting impression. Chapter 11 will talk about these biases. Guys, just try to it's one time only. Even if you're that type of person that you clean and you mean and you know that's how you are, just for that day, be clean and mean, but be subdued. Be subdued. You want them to give you a once over very quickly, and then pay attention to the words that are coming out of your mouth. Even when you show up on time, listen, you don't know that receptionist. You don't know who's opening the door. That could be the boss's child, the boss's spouse. You don't know that person. You are at the interview from the time that you drive into that parking lot. You don't even know who you're parking next to. You could be parking next to the person that you're going to interview with. I've always seen people, have one demeanor, and sometimes people even watch you out of the window. Some people are quirky in that way. I mean, I guess I get it. If you think about it, you're about to become a part of their team. People are going to check you out, right? People care about who's going to be on their team. They just do. That's human nature. So sometimes they check you out. Even when you think people aren't checking you out, they're checking you out, right? So don't be in your car and people are pulling up next to you and you're having it out with your significant other about who left the door open and all this kind of stuff, and they can overhear you. And then you got to put your game face on and go in there. They are going to judge you. First impression. You don't want your first impression to be you arguing with somebody in the car. Like, just do not have any distractors. Just be aware of your surroundings from the time that you drive onto that parking lot until the time that you leave. You're at the interview. Clearly, once again, if it's a virtual interview, the same thing. I don't care if it's a video. Dress nice. Don't have anything in the background. If you can, have a background screen or be against a white wall. No distractors. That is the best thing I can tell you guys. No distractors. Any type of distraction can affect your interview. If it happens to be a phone interview, which I pray none of you will have to have, even if it's a second interview, just pretend as if you're talking to someone. A lot of times what I like to do, I put my phone on, speaker, and I put it down in front of my computer, and I talk as if I'm talking to someone that's in front of me. It's a psychological thing that keeps your head in the game, right? And it does come across in the interview. If you have to come back for that second interview, i.e., it wasn't a panel interview and the boss's boss wants to meet you, or maybe they want you to meet some other people on the team, treat that interview as if it is the first interview. Do not get comfortable just because you get a second interview. I hate to tell you horror stories, but I know of plenty of people that have gotten second interviews and did not get the job. Has anyone ever gotten a second interview and didn't get the job? Let me raise my hand. I've gotten a second interview and did not get the job. I've even gotten a third interview and did not get the job. Okay, we see that. I had a friend, now he was trying to go for, I see a couple people that, he was trying to go for a very high up job, but he had, y'all ready for this? He had 10 interviews. 10. And he did not get the job. I know. Now, okay, it was a college, and he was trying to be like the campus president, but still 10. He did not get the job. He couldn't overcome it. He left, and let's make matters worse. He was an internal candidate. He was an internal candidate. I know that's bad, right? Let me tell you, he was so hurt. He left the company. Matter of fact, I think he left the profession. I mean, of course he'll say, it wasn't that. He was just, okay, it's time to go. And he couldn't recover from it. And I don't blame him. Because, can you imagine? So obviously we have to, unless we have a job offer, we don't have the job, right? Alejandro, I don't know if you had something you wanted to say, if you were just participating.
Oh, no, ma'am. I was just raising my hand at the fact that I have had a second interview and didn't get the job.
Isn't that painful? It's
Yes, it
painful.
was. I really wanted that job. But
Okay.
actually, I ended up getting a position very similar that was closer, way closer of a commute. So everything happens for a reason.
Thank goodness it worked out, right? I know, man. It's so funny you say that because I remember applying for a job. It was in another city. But it just made so much sense for me. You know, every time you apply for something, you think, "Oh my goodness, this just makes so much sense, right? This is perfect for me." And then when you don't get it, you start questioning, like, and then there's always something better. So there you go. Like we don't know what we don't know, right? So it's not our fault. But that is why chapter 11 says, "Listen, my friends, after you have that interview, you're going to go back, you're going to evaluate that interview. Like I said, we're not going to ask about salary. It's okay to ask about next steps and when can I expect to hear from you. And then you're going to send them what's called a follow-up thank you. And we'll be discussing how to do that on Thursday. And then you're going to do what? You're going to manage your emotions and you're going to continue the job search because we don't have time for that. We don't have time to put all of our eggs in one basket. We don't have time to commit our emotions to a position that has not been offered to us. So we just have to check our emotions at the door. I know it's so hard to do, even for myself. It's so hard to do, right? Because the employment process has steps. It has steps. And until we get to that last step, which is what? Signing off on responding to that job offer, right? First getting that job offer, negotiating in certain situations your compensation if you need to, and signing off, we don't have a job, right? So we don't have a job. That's why they tell people when they are searching for a house, until you sign off, the house is not yours. So don't start daydreaming about that situation. All right. Guess what? Look at how easy that was. You mean to tell me we're out of here, Miss Taylor? Yes, y'all have interviews to do. I'm not going to hold you. It's kind of like when you had your midterm. Guess what? People have interviews. I know people are going on to their interviews. One of the reasons why I have this class at 9 o'clock. I know some people have to rush off to their interview, and I promised them that I would get this information to them quickly, so you can thank them for getting out of here fast. All right. So read chapter 11. For those of you that have your interviews this morning, good luck. I know you're going to do fine. For those of you that don't, you have more time to prepare. Listen, my friends, today is an important assignment day outside of your interview. You are supposed to be doing um, part two of your career plan. Read the instructions carefully, my friends. Please read the instructions carefully. Some of us are still, and I know it's not those that are coming to class, did not do a career plan. We did a personal plan. Hopefully, I have better instructions for part two because you are creating steps for the long-term goal. So if your long-term goal didn't have any end dates on it, like you're trying to become a master electrician by 2031, and you just said, I want to do good in the electrical field. Now you're going to have steps to doing good in the electrical field, right? If your long-term goal is abstract, your steps are going to be abstract. So make sure you're paying attention to how this assignment reads so that you can do it well. And so I may even go over it next tomorrow just to make sure y'all really understand that. So I wanted to just point that out. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Each of you, well, each set of you guys are in different programs. So you may have been told that you have to dress a certain way when you go to an interview. I want you to show me, which means you can click on the little video, you can take a picture, whatever, or you can write it out, what you would wear to an interview in your industry. Ideally, what have you been told, or you can Google it if you don't know, what would you wear to an interview in your industry? Does that make sense? All right. Good luck on your interviews this week, guys. Please make sure, for those of you that are going to career services and they have not given you your resume back, remind them about the resume so that you can get that and turn it in. All right. They have to sign it. They have to sign it and give it back to you, but they know that. So just remind them, if you haven't gotten it back yet. All right, guys, good luck. Take care, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Go ahead, Saint.
Yes, ma'am. So
Oh, hold on. You sound
you
really
ha-
low. Let me turn you up. Go ahead.
yes, ma'am. So you had said for the career services, like the person who I'm doing interview with, to sign off a specific sheet or something.
Say what?
You wanted career services to sign a specific sheet or a paper.
For the interview or the resume?
I believe the interview, since it's today, mine is today.
Yeah. So what's going to happen? That's a good point. So when you guys go to the interview, they're going to use this little checklist. Once they're done, they're going to give it to you. And you're
Oh,
going to upload that this Wednesday when you start to turn in your mock interview results. You just upload that showing that you went to the interview. They don't grade it. It's not a grade, but it's just showing you'll get a grade for turning in the checklist, showing that you went to your interview. But they'll give it to you once they're done.
okay. I appreciate it then.
No problem. Thanks for asking. I should have explained that better. So yeah, once you guys finish your interview, they'll give it to you and then you upload it. The same way, once you're done with your resume, they're going to sign it and they're going to give it to you and then you'll upload that. You should have uploaded it last Thursday. All right. All right, y'all.
Bye.
But all right. I'm about to